welcome to How Ines Rolls. Are you like me? Working and so tired by the end of the evening? Are you ready for some easy meals? School started and I'm ready to show you another easy dinner. Let's get started. So I am making a fold over tortilla bake. So I looked online and I'm like, what else can I do with ground beef? Are you with me with that? Because I feel like it's just spaghetti and tacos. But I found this recipe and we love bakes. I love everything in one pot type thing, but there is some process to this one, but it's so easy still, you guys. So you're gonna need some enchilada sauce. Now you can buy it in the can, but this one is actually my favorite. So I'm just gonna follow the directions, and where it says water, I use bouillon cube. Easy, right? So I have it going right now. I have my broth ready, so now I just add the ingredients, and so I'm gonna do this and put it to the side. So this is I'm only gonna need actually a cup of this, and I think this will make about 2 cups. So I can put half of it into the freezer. Make sure I label it well, because I have been known to not do that. And get this for another time, so that my enchilada sauce will be ready for another recipe. So this is gonna be done. This is pretty much it. And then I'll show you what we need for our recipe now. So the best thing about this recipe is I had everything on hand. So if you've been following me in my hauls, I've been trying to stock up my pantry, and it's working. So I've been able to I have corn tortillas in the refrigerator because those are better for digestion with gluten-free friends. So my husband and we are trying to do more of that switch. I do have good flour tortillas. This recipe can be used with flour tortillas, but we're just gonna do it with corn. And just some tomatoes. And then just some chopped onions and little mild green chilies. And then that's pretty much it. I got my enchilada sauce going, so I'm gonna put it all together now. I mean, it's gonna be really easy. Oh, I also needed cream cheese, which I had for my bagels, so we're good. So I'm just going to brown this meat with a little bit of dehydrated onion. Now the recipe will be added to the description box below, and so I'm making a little bit of alterations because I know my family, so I'm not doing 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I'm only gonna do 1 can of tomatoes, and so I'll go from there. But I'm telling you guys, this is just gonna be another great recipe to have that you can go to very quickly, and it's gonna be delicious. All right, so now it's just seasonings time. So just some pepper and some salt. I kind of cut down on the salt since I'm using in the enchilada sauce a bouillon, which is like a broth. I'm gonna just cut down on some of the salt. And then I'm gonna get some cumin. I need to get some more cumin, it looks like. So you could put up to 2 teaspoons of that in there. I'm just gonna stick with 1. And then I'm just gonna get this going with the tomatoes and the enchilada sauce. So I like to use even the little petite ones because, again, I know my family. So if they think it's more like a sauce, it might not be a big deal. It's when they find the big chunks of tomatoes that I start to hear it. Well, you moms know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm gonna do a cup of enchilada sauce. And it says to bring it to a boil and then a simmer for 5 minutes. So it looks like I have about another cup in here, which I'm super happy about. So I'll just freeze that as it cools. And look at this yumminess. I'm always looking for good recipes that I can do with ground beef, because I don't always use it, but when I do, I want it to be a little bit different than, just putting some in spaghetti or making just a taco. So I think this is gonna be a nice compromise because I love Mexican food. So while that's all going, I am just gonna get some foil and wrap up about a dozen of the corn tortillas and put it in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. Just at 350, because I think we're gonna keep it at that temperature for cooking it later. So, you wanna see something funny? It fell out, and so it crinkled up. So it's not working with me right now. I hope everybody's been having a great week. We have been, I've started preschool, teaching preschool. All of my classes have come up to this point, and man, I'm tired. I'm not used to it. And so I get back into a routine and a rhythm, and having some easy go-to meals are awesome, but I still want to switch it up and change it up a little bit. And so this one, like I said, is going to be a go-to, I feel in the future. So I'm just going to wrap these corn tortillas into the foil, and into the oven it goes. Okay, so I'm just going to pour half of this now, kind of like it's thickened up a lot, so I'm kind of happy about that. Just right on the bottom of a 9x13 pan that I've already sprayed. And then what we're gonna do is just get those tortillas that are warmed up, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with those next. But it's gonna be so easy. And what I need to do now is just drain out a lot of the liquid that comes in these little chili cans. Totally easy, right? I just took them out of the oven, and so I've just kind of set up my assembly line. They're warm, they're not supposed to be super hot because I know that they're supposed to be more pliable. So I thought I would just have, I'll just set out all 12 and then put in the cream cheese. Now the cream cheese isn't even a whole block. It's like 3/4 of a block, and then softened. So I just let it sit out for a little while. So I'm just gonna bring you closer and show you how I'm doing these, except these ones like to curl. Whatever, it'll still be delicious. Alright, you guys, see how easy that was? I just put a dozen. It's kind of like its own little layer. So now I'm just going to top it with the sauce. And I'm gonna cover this up, put it in the oven for 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna pull it out and put cheese on it, Monterey Jack cheese. So I have that because I make my kids those chicken wraps, and I like putting a little bit of cheddar cheese and Monterey Jack. So that's why I have Monterey Jack. So, but if you don't have Monterey Jack, I don't see why you couldn't do cheddar. Okay, you guys, I'll be done talking like a game show host. All right, so we're gonna get this in. I'm gonna cover this up 15 minutes in the oven. All right, 15 minutes has came and gone. Smells good. So now I'm just going to top with Monterey cheese and get it back in there to melt. It called for about a cup or so, so be generous if you want to. All right, ready to go in. I just pulled it out of the oven. It's nice and hot. It smells so good. It kind of smells like enchiladas. So I'm gonna dish up and then we'll let you know what we think. Hold on, was it so good? Uh-huh. Yeah, they're having ice cream now because they had dessert, or they had dinner.
Mexican food.
Mexican food, yeah. And what's the rule with Mexican food?
You need ice cream to put the fire out in the belly. It's serious though.
It's serious though. So they really liked it. Did you? He said that the green chilies were. Okay. No, you thought they were like celery. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that in a second. But should I make it again?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. That was really good. It was like a different version of enchiladas.
Yep, they were very good.
Everybody liked it. Ezra didn't. He just chose to have some cereal, but that's okay because we had a later lunch. So my thoughts, I think it turned out just fine with the taste and how I cut back on some of the salt. I probably would cook it a little longer. So in the recipe, I believe it says to cook for 15 minutes and then put the cheese on it and then cook it for about 5 more minutes or so. I think you should cook it for at least 20 to 30 minutes and then add the cheese on top. I think that would make it even better. That would make it nice and hot and like let everything kind of blend in. It'll be really good that way too. It was great the way I made it. It will be better cooked longer. So just a little advice. So thanks for stopping by. I hope that you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't clicked subscribe, I'd love to have you along for my cooking and vlogging journey. So let me know in the comments if you have a go-to meal. And if you want to share it, please do. So thanks for stopping by and stick around. You just never know what I'll be rolling out next. Bye everyone.